Gentlemen, welcome to Fight Club. The first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club.
After Fight Club, we all started seeing things differently.
Hey guys, I'm Kevin.
I'm Jake.
And this is Movie Matters. Today we're doing a movie we're technically not allowed to talk about, and that is Fight Club from 1990, nine? Crazy.
Yeah.
1999. Number 13 on IMDb's top 250 list. So we're still hitting them. We're hitting those IMDb top 250s.
Yeah.
I love this movie. It's great. Haven't seen it in a while, and I'm excited to talk about it. Jake, what are your thoughts on the movie?
Same. Like, I was trying to remember the last time I watched this, and like it may have been like close to 10 years. But yeah, I mean, I saw this for the first time maybe like sophomore year in high school.
Interesting.
And between then and like sophomore year of college, I probably watched it like 50 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was like by far my favorite movie for a while there.
Interesting. Like, favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, it was up there for sure.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, so how did you watch this movie? Like, streamed it, Blu-ray, what do you got?
So I had bought it on like iTunes, so Apple TV had it from my library, so that's how I watched it.
What's the menu like when you go to like select play to watch it?
It wasn't like a menu, it was like I was streaming it.
Oh, so you just went and it went right into it. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a little Easter egg.
No,
if you have,
the DVD menu though is awesome, or the Blu-ray menu.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah. But it's been a while since I know it's funny and weird.
So it starts with Never Been Kissed. Like,
Yeah,
you're watching
that's
the
right.
movie Never Been Kissed. And when I first bought the movie, I was like, no fucking way. And I stopped it and opened my like Blu-ray player and pulled the disc out, and I was like, what the fuck? And they got me.
Yeah.
So, but then it goes to like the IKEA, like with the music and like, you know, panning through his apartment, and then it goes through his house, and all like the little subtitles are really funny. There's a lot of funny things. Yeah, that always throws me for a loop, which is hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I just first I want to start off with the rules of Fight Club. I want to go through them real quick, okay? We have to like state the rules.
There's only 3 rules, right?
No, there's 8.
Including Project Mayhem, there's 8.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so rule number 1 is you do not talk about Fight Club. Rule 2 is you do not talk about Fight Club, which can technically be seen as a double negative, so you can talk about it, which is interesting, and I guess that's why people talk about it. Rule number 3, if someone yells stop, goes limp, or taps out, the fight's over. Rule 4, only 2 guys to a fight. Rule 5, only 1 fight at a time. Rule 6, no shirts, no shoes, no weapons in the fights. Rule 7, fights will go on as long as they have to. Rule 8, if this is your first time at Fight Club, you have to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I forgot about the actual fight rules.
yes, that they all kind of blend together as one rule if you think about it,
Yeah.
but pretty interesting. So this is based on the book Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk, if I'm pronouncing his last name correct. Palahniuk, I think it's
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Have you read the book?
So I started the book probably like 5 times, and I've gotten through like chapter 1, and then like for whatever reason I just can't like
Interesting.
read it or whatever.
It's a quick read.
Yeah, part of the problem is like I kept trying to read it while I was in school, so I had to do like schoolwork. So like I need to just do it now, like as an adult when I have like free time, you know. But
I think I read it in high school, and I barely remember it, to be honest, if at all. But I definitely read it. And what's cool is, so Chuck Palahniuk, the author, first came up with the idea for his book after being beaten up on a camping trip when he complained to some nearby campers about the noise of their radio. And they kicked his ass. And then when he returned to work, he was fascinated to find that nobody would mention or acknowledge his injuries. Like, he just has a black eye or is beating the shit out of him and no one cared. And instead of saying such commonplace things as like, they would say like, how's your weekend? And not address anything about his appearance. Palahniuk concluded that the reason people reacted this way was because if they asked him what had happened, a degree of personal interaction would be necessary, and his workmates simply didn't care enough to connect with him on a personal level. It was his fascination with the societal blocking which became the foundation for the novel. Pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably read it again. I think I own the book here. I might have it here in Arizona, or it's back at my parents' somewhere.
I think my brother stole it from me, so I don't have it here. But yeah, I would probably buy it again just to read it.
Yeah, and there's apparently like a sequel novel from
read
what I
that.
saw. What?
Well, it's a comic book, so.
Okay. There's a third one too that's also a comic book.
There might be. I have not read that one.
Okay. Do you remember anything about the second one?
It's about the narrator living in the suburbs with Marla. And like he starts becoming like bored with his life, and then that's when Tyler kind of like resurfaces.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about that narrator. So what's crazy is you never learn Edward Norton's character's real name.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, technically it's Tyler Durden.
Yeah.
Right? It's not Jack. It's
Yeah.
Tyler. Technically it's Tyler Durden.
I think I think the credits credit him as the narrator, right?
Yeah. At least IMDb does too. Yeah, pretty interesting because like watching it, you never really realize he's not called by like anything.
Yeah.
And that I think, you know, David Fincher directed this, and I love David Fincher movies. I think his movies are awesome.
Yeah.
And he does a good job editing, directing, like everything for like masking that character and his name.
Yeah.
But this movie was also like, it didn't do super well at the box office, and there's a number of reasons, and we've talked about it in other reviews, especially of certain 80s movies, is the studio really didn't know how to market this movie.
This is a weird movie.
It is a weird movie. Yeah, there's I feel like there's a lot to talk about with this movie, but after David Fincher was finished editing the film, the studio executives were baffled by the movie and unsure how to market it. Fincher had wanted a highly unique marketing campaign which would mirror the film's theme of anti-commercialism. But already worried about the possible backlash against the film, the Fox executives refused to go ahead with Fincher's idea. 2 of Fincher's trailers can actually be found on the DVD in Internet Spots section, which I have not watched. And I'd like to watch them. Instead, a campaign was built around the presence of Brad Pitt in the film. He's a bankable star. Let's just market him.
Yeah.
Makes sense. As well as concerning on the fighting, which isn't really that prominent in the movie if you think about it for a movie named Fight Club.
Yeah.
The campaign was highly criticized as giving the impression that the film was basically about men beating each other up, completely ignoring the comic and satirical like elements of the narrative, and the marketing for the film, like they marketed it to the wrong audiences.
Yeah.
Fincher was particularly pissed off or upset when he saw ads for the film during WWE and UFC programming. It's pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, how do you fucking market this movie? It's so bizarre.
Yeah, like it's such a like genre bending movie too. Like it doesn't fit in any particular category well.
That's a great point.
It's like a lot of like Venn diagrams, overlapping. Like, like
Yeah.
there's crime elements, there's like psychological thriller elements, there's action elements, there's kind of like heist elements. Like, I mean, there's just a lot going on.
Yeah, it's a very interesting movie for like to like pinpoint it to one specific drama besides psychological thriller, which is
Yeah.
what this month is about, by the way.
Yeah. But like, it's hard to market without giving away like the point of the movie and the big twist, because like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, for sure, this is like a movie that word of mouth like needed to carry,
Yeah.
So yeah, if they would have leaned into more of the like psychological thriller aspect of it or the like crime aspect of it, they might have got more like butts in seats, and that could have like helped, spread
Yeah,
the
but
word.
again, like, how do you like getting into the psychological aspects of it? You basically ruin the plot. I feel
right.
like. I mean, it was nominated for an Oscar just for best like sound effects editing, which it lost, I believe, to The Matrix, which makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, this. Let's see. I'm just looking at. Yeah, so the the budget. I mean, it was a $63 million budget. It grossed worldwide $101 million. Opening weekend was $11 million, so it was a little low. I mean, it's like it made some money, but it like still was a box office failure because usually you want to make double your budget. You want to make $126 million if it's a $63 million budget. So it definitely was not profitable.
But it's for sure made up in video
yeah,
and sales and stuff, I'm sure.
There ironically is no statistics on that. I looked through the trivia on IMDb and I did not see any like statistics, or like again trivia on that. But I would say this movie is like highly influential, and it's because it's kind of about toxic masculinity even too. Like there's. This movie like makes you want to join a fight club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just want to go and fight. And following the film's release, fight clubs started popping up in certain areas, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And so I've maybe mentioned it in a couple of reviews. I went to film school here in Arizona, and I had a project that was like the topic was, how does violence in media affect society? And so I made a short film about Fight Club and how influential it was. And basically, it's about a character that's going through his life, that's bored out of his mind, and he's going through IMDb's top 250 movies. And he comes to Fight Club, and it's exactly kind of like his life, with Edward Norton's character just being bored at his job and just like, I mean, my character doesn't create an alter ego. He's like, he watches Fight Club and becomes energized by it and like wants to get into fighting. And he finds a random guy in the street that like invites him into this Fight Club, and the movie ends with him going to fight. And I thought it was really cool, and I thought we did it really well. And like the teacher did not like it and gave us like a C. And my buddy who I made it with went in to talk to the professor, and he eventually like moved it up to a B-. But like what's funny is at the end of the semester, they were showing everyone's video, and we were getting to the end of class and we hadn't seen ours yet, and the teacher was like, we got time for one more. And sure enough, it just so happened to be ours, me and my buddies. And we screened it, and like everyone loved it and thought it was awesome. And it was like, not to sound cocky, but it was like the best film that we watched. And it was just fun. I'll never forget that experience. And yeah, I mean, that's like, I have a fond memory of that because of this movie and making it because of this movie. And it's influential, and I like that.
Yeah. If you'll indulge my Fight Club story,
Yes.
So,
Oh, I think
year,
I think I remember this.
freshman year of college, we had to sign up for an English class, and I was in like the second level English class. So I just blind signed up for one, like just trying to get my schedule together. Like you're a freshman, you don't know what you're doing. Well, it turns out the English classes were topic based, and
Yes.
mine happened to be like gender studies English, which I was like not particularly like thrilled about because I was like I don't care about this topic like at all. Anyway, the teacher was really really good, and like it wasn't like a like super boring class or anything. Luckily, end of the semester we had to write a big synthesis paper, so we were allowed to pick like any mediums, 2 main sources and then some supporting sources, and make an argument on how those 2 pieces of media kind of support your argument. So kind of is like a little fuck you. Like at the end of the semester, I was like, I'm gonna write a paper arguing about the male like fight against effeminization. So my 2 primary sources were Fight Club and Jackass, because around that same time, they emerged as like super popular with young men, like particularly like our age and like a little bit older.
Yeah.
So I wrote this paper, you're just like ripping on like the effeminization of men throughout like the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff. And turned it in, wrote it in maybe 3 hours the night before it was due. Then we had like one-on-ones with the teacher where she like had read it and then like was giving feedback. It's like I go to the one-on-one and she's like, I want to use this as an example for future classes because this is amazing. I was like, yes.
That's
She's
awesome.
like, so, and like, she gave me like a couple notes. And then she was like, I think it needs like pictures or something because you're talking about like movies and TV shows. So I just found like the most graphic like screenshots from Fight Club and Jackass that I could, and like put them in the paper and like stuff like that. And like she had me find like a couple more like examples so I could actually use like Eminem like skyrocketing like in the late 90s as like another like backup of my argument and stuff. So yeah, it was funny because like
That's cool.
it was just kind of like fuck it, like
That happened to me one time in English class and it was freshman year, believe it or not, actually we went to college in Chicago together, Jake and I. And I was in some English class and I was like, man, this is really tough. And I like English classes. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck to write about. And I like was writing and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna drink some alcohol and just like, get a little loose and just go with it. And did that, and sure enough, I got an A on it. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Shout out to our English teachers at UIC, University of Illinois Chicago, where Jake and I went to school. Yeah. I went there for 2 years, and I transferred to Arizona State. And speaking of topic classes, I took an English class there, not to get super off topic, but it was a topic-specific class, and it was on The Wire, the show The Wire.
Oh, I remember
And
you told me about that. Yeah,
it was so awesome and such a great class.
Yeah, I should have signed up for that one, but
it was great. And I wrote a paper on that show. Like, you had to write papers on the show, and I compared it to Heat, the movie Heat, which is like my number 1 all-time favorite movie. Literally, like that's my favorite movie. I love that movie. And I wrote it like with about recidivism, which is how criminals who basically get out of jail go back into crime because that's all they can do because of having that stamp above their head that says I'm an ex-con. So I wrote about that and got a really good grade on that. So look at us. Look at us being
killing it in English class.
Yeah. And that was so long ago too, by the way.
Know.
Which is crazy also to think about. But back onto Fight Club. You know, I mean, this is just, the media is just so influential for us, and that's, again, why, I mean, I mention this in every fucking podcast, probably, why we do this. We love it. We love movies. It's fun, and it's fun to talk about them. Yeah, this movie is just wild. There's a lot of cool trivia on it, a lot of cool trivia. So, what I also found, and this relates to our 80s movies, Rob Bottin did the fat suit for Meatloaf in this.
Oh, nice.
So we know Rob Bottin from a lot of, like he does a lot of the special effects. He did The Thing, for example, from '82. So really cool to have that kind of tie into our '80s themes that we've done. So that was really cool to read that. And I mean, his fat suit apparently it weighed like 100 pounds.
Yeah, it looks legit.
Yeah. Bitch tits, as Edward Norton says. Yeah, that's funny. I never knew that was Meatloaf for the longest time.
No, really?
Did you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
I mean, I never really knew who Meatloaf was until a while into my life, I guess you could say.
Yeah. No, I listened to him a lot in like 7th, 8th grade in high school. Like Bad Out
really?
of Hell is an awesome album. So yeah.
I feel like I would have listened to it because obviously we were good friends then.
Yeah, you've heard his songs for sure.
I'm sure. Yeah. Meatloaf. He's really good in this. By the
Yeah,
way.
he's awesome.
His acting's really good. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like this fact is super cool. So like the whole cave scene with Edward Norton trying to like go into his cave is very interesting, and his spirit animal being a penguin. The visible breath in that sequence, him in that cave, is Leonardo DiCaprio's breath from Titanic. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. Would they like pull it and like
It's
stitch it
recycled.
in? That's funny.
Yeah. So pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, did you pick up on anything in particular this viewing? Like, I mean, we talk about it, especially with our most recent viewings and all of our viewings we do. Like, is there something you picked up that you didn't notice before on your prior viewings, or were you looking out for something in particular this time?
No. So like I've
Shut
watched
down.
this movie so many times, and I've read a lot about it.
Interesting. Okay.
So like, yeah, there wasn't anything like, plot wise that like I didn't already know.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I paid a lot of attention to the editing
Okay.
and the like effects and stuff. Which
Okay.
like another example, this movie came out in fucking 1999 and has better CGI than almost any movie that came out last year, which is just so ridiculous.
What's funny though is David Fincher has a very particular visual, like it's CGI. He uses CGI very differently than in most movies. I feel like it's how the camera moves within that CGI that makes it very different. I feel like,
Yeah, yeah.
what
But like,
I mean?
like the opening sequence is like the the title credits, it like flying through like the neurons like in his brain,
Yes.
which is like cool. I mean, it's like an animation, like whatever. But then you go out like through like a pore in his skin and like zoom out. It like follows the barrel of the gun coming out of his mouth, like through
Yes.
the sights, and then focuses on Edward Norton's face seamlessly. And,
Yeah.
like, I'm like, why can't anybody do that anymore? like, like it looks amazing. Like, I
Yeah.
don't get it. But
Yeah, for '97, I mean, pretty impressive.
yeah. But yeah, so I mean, again, like the editing, like that's a great example of like the way they stitch that to the real footage of Edward Norton's like sweating face with a gun in his mouth is like crazy.
Yeah.
The way the editing supports the narrative is fantastic. Like, that's probably the biggest thing that I picked up on was like how well sound and like the cuts support the narrative. Like there's probably I've noticed this in the past, but like it really like made me smile, and like I was like, God, that's so awesome. Is when Tyler and Marla are like going at it upstairs while the narrator's in like the kitchen, and the phone starts ringing, and he walks up and picks it up, and the Marla noises stop.
Yes.
When I think it's a cop that's calling him.
Yes.
But yeah, like there's a couple little things like that where some action that Tyler is supposedly doing like halts, and like
Yes.
and then Jack like takes over, or the narrator.
So that's what I picked up this viewing. I mean, I've seen this movie a handful of times. I've not seen it nearly as many as you have, Jake. But I haven't seen this movie in a while. Mm-hmm. I've watched it since I've been out here, so it's within the last like 8 to probably 12, 13 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's within that time. But maybe not. I don't know. It's been a while. So I was trying to pick up on things that were clues that they're both the same person. Mm-hmm. And that was cool. There's a lot of trivia, and I'll get to some of them amidst my other trivia about like how certain things are, and I'll see if you picked up on it, or if you've known about it, or again, you've probably read it potentially. But yeah, that's kind of what I was looking for, is like little telltale signs of like, hey, Tyler and the narrator are the same guy, mm-hmm. and why certain things do what they do and why they stop. Like you said, with the editing, it's really well done. Yeah, I think the cinematography is awesome, and that ties into your hold the gun in his mouth and everything. Like it's just it. David Fincher and Jeff Cronenweth that's the cinematographer. They wanted a very like dirty, like gritty look to it, and they achieved it. It's such mm-hmm. It's a dark movie in general, and the subject matter's pretty fucking dark, but it's supposed to be satirical, which is funny. And like Edward Norton and Brad Pitt loved making this movie, and were in the theater, and like they kind of snuck into the like movie theater on some screenings, and they were just laughing their ass off at the movie because they think it's so funny. And like other people were just like, what the fuck are we watching? Because they didn't know. It was kind of ahead of its time, this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah, it plays really well on both sides. Like, you can read it as like a very serious, like, psychological thriller, or you can take pretty much every line in the movie can be read like satirically and comedically.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just written like extremely well. Even the like, to go back to some of the little like hints about the duality of the narrator, like another thing that really got me this time was the way that the narrator and Marla interact right after she's supposedly like had sex with Tyler. Like those interactions are just like so spectacularly written, and like so naturally written, like because you don't like the first time you watch this movie, you don't suspect a thing, like and like until
like, what are you doing here?
Like what are you doing here? And like her like frustration too is like so well acted. Like
the tone changes with her, which is really cool.
Yeah, and like the biggest moment to me is when he's walking outside with the bottle of vodka, and she like comes up to him, and he's like, mm-hmm. Get out of here. And she's like, hey, what's wrong? He's like, Tyler's gone. Tyler's not here. And like her face like completely like goes like ghost white, and she's like, okay, and just like leaves, like which like you think like you know, for the first watch, you're like, oh, like she's, you know, like Tyler's not there, so like she's kind of like, oh, okay, and just like, you know, leaves. But like, no, she's really like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, I'm just gonna get out of here, you know, like, yeah, super like a you know, the narrator's got his like, you know, dual personality, but like almost a lot of the dialogue that he uses is also like double meaning, you know, like, which is it's yeah, really, really well done.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, so there, let me like an early cue to the plot twist comes when Tyler calls the narrator back on the payphone after the narrator's apartment has blown up.
Mm-hmm.
As it rings, an inscription can be seen on the payphone that reads "No incoming calls," thus indicating what Tyler just did was impossible.
Yeah, he's like imagining that conversation.
Yes.
Yeah,
I did not notice that. Have you noticed that?
yeah.
Huh.
Not the telephone thing, but I always kind of assumed that was like
Yeah.
an imagined, you know.
I didn't
kind of
notice
thing.
that on there. Also, when they were shooting like the exterior scenes of like the residential area there, in one of the apartments above, the film crew was working, and one of the like neighboring tenants got annoyed so much because of the noise, he threw a 40-ounce beer bottle at them, and the bottle hit the cinematographer, like it hit him and cut him open.
Jeez,
But he wasn't seriously injured, and the man was arrested because of it. Isn't that crazy?
that's nuts.
like shut the fuck up, throws a bottle, and just clocks the fucking cinematographer. My God.
It's funny that they were like filming in an actual building, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Very interesting. It could have been in a different area too. Like it may have not been at the apartment building.
yeah,
You just
yeah.
said
But I mean,
urban
like-
residential, but like
Usually, like interiors, they don't shoot like on location. You know,
yeah.
that's funny though.
Yeah. I mean, Brad Pitt is iconic in this movie, and like the whole "I want you to hit me as hard as you can" line is so cool. He's got so many great lines in this. He's awesome in this.
His weird outfits.
Dude, he's dressed like a girl. Like there's a lot. I feel like he's got girl clothes, like women's clothing on, and like women's glasses.
It's
I
all
feel
like yeah, like thrift store like women's
Yeah.
clothing, which is like so weird.
It's very weird, but it's so funny. Like his like hustler shirt basically that he has is really funny. It's very interesting. But yeah, I mean, I just always remember with 20th Century Fox, there was always a sizzle reel, and we'll have to try and find it potentially. There was a sizzle reel for a bunch of movies, and in those sizzle reels, they had the clip saying, "I want you to hit me as hard as you can," and then it would like cut to like other things, and not in this movie. In other movies, it was like a cool. There's always such cool like. When you'd have a DVD and it would give you like the previews, and the movie studio would want to promote their other fun action movies
Yeah.
from like the 2000s or the 90s. They'd always have these cool like trailers, and those always, I'd never skip them because I always loved them growing up and watching them either on like the VHS or the DVD. I always loved that. And maybe it didn't play on the VHS. I don't remember, but definitely the DVD.
VHS had those too for sure.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah.
those were always sick.
I mean, that line is probably the most iconic line of the movie, besides the first rule of Fight Club is do not talk about Fight Club.
Yeah. And I haven't been fucked like that since grade school.
Yeah.
Which is a very, like, the studio executives were like, whoa. No.
Do you have the trivia on that line?
That it was supposed to be something else
Yeah.
initially?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, see if you can find the line that it was supposed to be, because it was like so heinous and like the
Oh, you're going to be like my first abortion. It was something about abortion.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and like the executives were like absolutely not,
Yeah.
and Fincher and the writer were like, well, then whatever else we come up with is going to be in the movie. And they were like, fine, just anything else. So then they used,
That, and they were still
that
like
since grade
mortified.
school. And they're like, you said we could use it.
Yeah.
They're just like, all right,
And
whatever.
what's funny is Helena Bonham Carter, who plays Marla. She's British, and she didn't know what grade school meant, and she found out it meant primary school, which is being young, and she was like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!" Like after she did the line. Yeah, there's a lot of funny lines in this. So the I Want You to Hit Me as Hard as You Can is really cool, that whole scene, because so initially Edward Norton was going to fake hit Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt was aware of that. However, David Fincher pulled Edward Norton aside before the scene and said, "I want you to really fucking hit him. And I want you to hit him in the ear, of all places." And after Norton hit him in the ear, you can see him smiling and laughing in the scene,
Yeah.
which is funny. And while his Pitt is like swearing, and that's like a genuine reaction to it, which is really funny.
Yeah, all the way up to like when he says like in the fucking ear, dude.
Yeah.
I think that's all real. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool. And what's cool also about that, which is something I didn't necessarily pick up on, but is in the trivia. So the morning after their first fight, when the narrator he has difficulty hearing at work. He has difficulty hearing his
Yeah.
boss, and it's because he was hit in the ear.
oh yeah,
Isn't that cool? I didn't know that. So, another subtle hint. There's
Yeah.
like a lot of subtle hints I picked up through this trivia that I was like, no way. I was like trying to look for these.
Yeah, I know. I've never noticed that one before, and I hadn't read that one before. But that is
Yeah.
an interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I like Brad Pitt and Edward Norton when they're hitting golf balls and they're drunk. They were actually really drunk in that scene and like laughing their asses off. And they were trying to hit this catering truck, and they kept hitting the truck, and that's why they're like goofy as hell in that. Yeah, I mean the line which I think you and I always kind of chuckle at is when Brad Pitt's the projectionist, and he splices in pornography into the like kids entertainment or like kids movies, and he's like, "Nice big cock."
Yeah.
It's such a like odd line, and
The
it's just
cigarette
it's
hanging out
funny.
of his mouth too. Nice big cock.
Yeah, there is one line that after Edward Norton's kind of beat up and Marla asks Edward Norton what happened to him, he's like sometimes Tyler even spoke for me. I fell down some stairs.
Yeah.
And like that whole scene, I picked up on that, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like I feel like I hadn't realized. I'm sure I realized that before, but again, hadn't seen the movie in
That's,
forever.
when he's like getting stitches in the hospital, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I think maybe.
'Cause I think you're thinking of when Tyler's in the basement
Yes.
and Marla's confronting him, and
Yes.
Tyler's whispers like this conversation, and then he
Yes.
repeats it. He's like, "Is over."
Yes,
Yeah.
that part's really cool too. Yeah, I like all those subtle little details are really cool. And there's certain scenes where characters don't acknowledge Tyler Durden at all. They just acknowledge Edward Norton, which I did not realize either
Yeah.
on certain ones. So what's crazy is, obviously this movie has a big twist, and another thing, like a double entendre, if you will, is you don't talk about Fight Club. That was kind of the motto for the movie in terms of you don't spoil the ending.
Yeah.
And spoiler, I mean, we've already told it, and like you better fucking
And
watch this movie.
movie's what, 25 years old now, so we're okay.
Almost 30, dude.
Or 27 years old. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 27 years old. Yes, almost 30 years old, which is crazy to think of. Again, like just watching The Departed and
Yeah.
that being 20 years old is crazy. So there was Rosie O'Donnell appeared on she had a TV show, and she revealed that she had just seen Fight Club, and she had been unable to sleep ever since. She then gave away the plot twist on TV and urged all her viewers to avoid the movie at all costs.
Why?
And like they exactly. And like in the commentary for the DVD, David Fincher, Edward Norton, and Brad Pitt all say like, this is unforgivable. Like, that was such bullshit. Like, I can't believe you did that. Which, again, it's, you don't talk about Fight Club. That's the first rule.
Yeah.
And the second rule. But yeah,
Well,
I like.
so before we jump on to something else, this kind of ties in. So, you know, first time I watched this, you know, I don't remember how it came up, but like I mentioned, you know, to my mom and dad, you know, like, oh yeah, I watched Fight Club. Like, isn't it amazing? And my dad was like, you know, I had an awesome idea for Fight Club. I was like, oh, really? He's like, yeah, what they should have done was film the movie twice and flip Brad Pitt and Edward Norton in the two versions of the movie, and then just send the reels out without telling anybody, so that you'd like go to work the next day. Oh, did you see Fight Club? Like, yeah, wasn't it weird when like Edward Norton did blah blah blah, and like, don't you mean Brad Pitt? And have people be like, what do you like all confused about who's who and stuff, which actually would have been really funny and cool.
That is super cool. That's kind of like Clue, how the movie got sent with different endings. We talk about that movie in one of our 80s reviews. Check it out if you haven't. That's a good movie. We like that movie.
Yeah, it was
it's
a good
funny.
movie.
Yeah, like, so I mentioned like characters not acknowledging Tyler. When entering Lou's Tavern, the narrator enters first, and the guy out front only acknowledges the narrator as though Tyler doesn't even exist. And like, I love the part where he's like, I'm Lou. Who the fuck are you? And Lou comes to Lou's Tavern and then beats the shit out of Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt just like does it, like gets all the you don't know where I've been, Lou.
Yeah.
That part is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that part. The punching sound effects and like the graphic nature of like the blood and people getting fucked up in this movie is really intense. There's a lot, like, it's just very graphic.
Yeah.
And it's so well done, and like the violence is so well done. I don't know, it's just really, really bone crunching.
Yeah.
And I feel
really
like not a lot of
impactful,
movies do.
like,
yeah,
there's not a lot of like fight scenes for a movie called Fight Club, but like the ones that you get are intense, especially when he beats the shit out of Jared Leto.
Yes, that part's disgusting.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very interesting that Jared Leto's in this. And then I think what's his name, like Angel Wings in this?
Angel Face?
Angel Face, yeah. And like he doesn't have an angel face after
No.
Edward Norton beats the shit out of him. Yeah, pretty crazy. So let's see. I just want to like, Marla calls the narrator for the first time at the abandoned house he and Tyler live in, but the narrator and Marla exchanged numbers before his apartment got blown up, and they hadn't talked or seen each other since. When he asked how she got the number, she said, "You gave me your forwarding number." Another clue.
Oh, I thought she said there was a forwarding number. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then another clue is, like, during the car crash scene where Tyler's driving, it shows Tyler driving the car, which is interesting. However, after the crash, he gets out of the passenger side. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
pretty wild. But it's hard to tell because the car is flipped upside down. So you think it's very, you got to be eagle-eyed on it.
Yeah.
And I didn't even notice that until I read the trivia, and I went back and rewatched that particular scene. And I was like, oh shit, no way. So that was pretty cool.
The other part about that scene that's really interesting is when the narrator and Tyler start fighting, the guys in the back seat start getting really uneasy.
Yes.
Which like doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, unless you're thinking about one guy just yelling at himself in the front seat. Like,
I was thinking about that while watching that scene. I was just like, wow. Like, what do these people think when he talks to himself? You know?
I mean, because, like, that scene is really intense. And, like, yeah, I mean,
Look at you, man. You're fucking pathetic.
yeah. Well, and, like, what's kind of interesting about it is, like, we don't know if he does Tyler's voice out loud as well as his own too.
That's an interesting thought.
They could
Yeah.
also be watching him have only one half of a conversation, like, which is even more creepy and weird.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, I mean that was this was the first time that I noticed particularly how people react around him when he's interacting with Tyler, like in front of other people,
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah, that scene's crazy. And it's also ironic because he's that he's a car recall like specialist. I don't know, it's just there's a lot of irony in this movie too.
Yeah.
And I get like it's just there's a lot of themes running through this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's so good, dude.
Well, that's the
So
whole
good.
thing with the the penguin in his spirit animal, the penguin in his cave, says slide. And from there on is when he starts like really losing it. So like
Interesting.
it's almost like the penguin's like giving him permission to like let go. And that's also the moment I think where it might be right after that when he says that like he could sleep again, if I'm remembering right. So yeah, that penguin
I think
is kind of
that's
his,
after
like,
he like cries into Meatloaf, and he's like,
oh yeah, you're right.
"Babies
Yeah.
don't even sleep this well."
Right. Yeah, like I had read something that like the penguin kind of represents his like final like self permission to just like totally let
Let go.
Tyler lapse in.
Interesting. And I want to talk about like the consumerism, like anti-consumerism of this movie, and like the theme of the line, "The things you own end up owning you," which
Yeah.
is really cool. And I feel like that's really apparent in his apartment. Like I loved that apartment and him buying everything from the IKEA catalog. Starbucks has a really prominent product placement in this movie, and apparently, according to Fincher, there's Starbucks cups in every scene, but that apparently has been debunked. But
Yeah.
there is a lot, and
There's
it's
a- yeah,
again,
there are
it's
a lot.
it's the consumerism of it, it's like and how everyone's. I mean, look at Starbucks in general. Like, there's one on every fucking corner, and people are addicted to coffee. It's crazy.
And this wasn't even when Starbucks was like at its peak.
I know.
This is like when Starbucks was like really just kind of starting to catch on.
Yeah. And it's like, there's a cool line. It's only after we've lost everything that we're free to do anything. That is such a sick line.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
and he lost his apartment.
Yeah.
And his mind. And
Yeah.
he's free to do whatever he wants.
That's like his whole thing is about Tyler is trying to force the narrator to like hit rock bottom. That's the chemical burn. He's trying to like force him the car crash, like he's trying to force him to like completely submit to Tyler, but like there's a part of him that just like won't let go,
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I also love the Tyler monologue where like you get like the fourth wall break where like the film starts like ripping
freaking out.
in like that is super cool. I love that this movie uses like the fourth wall like in a really clever way. Like the at the end when he's got the gun in his mouth and he's like anything, what does he say, any last words, and he's like, I still can't think of anything. He's like, flashback joke. Or flashback humor. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I like when, I mean, that's very Nolan-esque of start the movie with the end
Yeah.
and then you do the beginning and then go through. So the shot, him shooting himself is crazy.
Yeah.
And the CGI in that is very, very good. So they initially wanted to shoot it practically, using synchronized high-speed photosonic cameras, a dummy constructed by makeup supervisor Rob Bottin, and live footage of actor Edward Norton. They wanted to combine all those together. However, the filmmakers couldn't get the shot to look right, so at the last minute they decided to do the scene with CG. Ultimately, live footage of Edward Norton having 180 psi of air shot into his mouth to make his cheeks look like they blew out was used. But apart from the actual face, only the element of the shot, which is real, is the spurt of blood coming out of his mouth. Everything else is CG. Pretty impressive.
I mean, it looks amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, the ending is really intense. So recently, in 2022, China finally got this on streaming, this movie. And China altered the ending.
I've
Rather
heard
than
this,
having-
yeah.
Yeah, rather than the original ending of the bombs going off, the new ending fades to black after the narrator shoots himself.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the
because they
plot-
were super concerned with the like terrorism aspect.
Yeah.
And yeah, wanted to censor that.
And then the plot is concluded with a title card that explains the police thwarted Project Mayhem, and the
Yeah.
narrator, still referred to as Tyler, was sentenced to a mental institution until 2012.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, just a wild movie. What do you think? I mean, obviously the ending is mind blowing, literally and figuratively, and it's still really cool because a lot of movies that have twist endings or huge reveals, obviously the first viewing is the most special.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of movies I love like that, but there's like sometimes it's not on repeat viewings. You're like, oh, the impact doesn't hit as hard.
Yeah.
However, this movie still kind of like the impact is still really like prevalent and really important, and it's just like it's because the plot is so well done, the writing's so well done, the directing, the acting, everything is so well done about this movie. And again, I think it was a little misunderstood when it first came out, but I think it does such a good job of upholding its rewatch value. This movie
Yeah.
has it.
Well, and like we've talked about pretty much through the whole episode, like all the little breadcrumbs are there, and like every time you watch it, there's a little more that like you can pick
Yes.
up, and like that's I think why this movie's rewatch value is so high. So I remember like literally the first time I watched it, I watched it at a friend's house. Movie ended, I was like, holy shit, like that movie was awesome. And he was like, did you see the Tyler flashes? I was like, no. And we watched it again. I was
beginning?
like, oh my god, yeah. I was like, Tyler
really?
flashes on the screen.
Who did you watch it with? Name drop.
Micah,
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like we literally watched it twice in a row because I was just like, whoa.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a great movie. I think it's a great one to start off Psychological Thriller Month with. Do you have anything else you want to add about it? Anything you've read or anything?
No, I mean, we talked about pretty much everything.
Any celebrity you want to fight? Gandhi. Good
Gandhi,
answer.
Good answer.
I love that.
Shatner. I'd fight William Shatner. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. This, for me, this was like the perfect movie as like an angsty, like 16-year-old. Like
That's a great point.
I feel like it's like it's one of those movies that like I think really helps you like as a teenager because like you need an outlet, for like whatever like bullshit, you're like, and like this movie has like all that stuff. It's like it's all about like counterculturalism, anti-consumerism, like just being a dude, and like that all that stuff, and like yeah, I don't know. It's just like watching. It's just like fun when you're a kid, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's those like mind-blowing movies like this. Fight Club is just so, again, it's like influential. I mean, granted, obviously I did that project in my film class, and you did that paper in your English class. It's like, it's so ingrained into pop culture, this movie now.
Yeah.
Because of like the plot twist, and you don't talk about Fight Club. That line is iconic. So I think it's a great movie to start off the month with. Like I said, I'm super stoked to watch Shutter Island. So that's what I'm liking about
that in a long time.
I know.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm stoked. I mean, I hadn't watched this movie in a while, so this is good. I mean, I'm really enjoying our year so far of movies. Yeah, I'm super excited. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. It's already February, which is crazy. Yeah, enjoy watching these movies like we have. So thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
See ya.